All right, welcome to the War of Ideas podcast. Today, I'm gonna do a little bit of continuation on what I was talking about in the last episode and delve a little bit deeper and go on a little bit of tangents here and there, and who knows where we'll end up today. Alright, what I talked about last time and what I will be continuing onward to is blaming terrorism on religion. Last time I didn't really get into the details of the political left or the political right and, nitpicking on both of their views about this, or saying which side of the deal I was arguing for or against, or which side of the political spectrum actually has more to learn when it comes to this stuff. And I'm still not sure what the answer to that question is. But I feel like I talked about it as if I was talking to a leftist in the last podcast. And today I'll be talking about it as if I'm talking to a conservative on the right and telling them what they have wrong about it, or their misconceptions, or actually why they're being too PC about it as well, not just the left, but in a slightly different way. See, when it comes to the right in America, the religious right, the evangelical right, I know not everyone on the right is a Christian, but I'm sure most people would agree that if you are a Christian, there's a good chance you vote conservative if you truly believe in a God. Conservatives that realize the problem of Islam are confronted with picking one of two choices here, but they never actually explicitly say this, even though it has to be part of the thought process. They can either blame religion for brainwashing these otherwise normal human beings that get into groups like ISIS or blow themselves up for ISIS. Or they can admit that they think people who happen to be Muslims are inherently unfit for a modern Western society. If it's not one of those two choices, what could it possibly be? By refusing to denounce the pitfalls of religious fanaticism, your only other option of how to explain the terrible things that Muslims think and do, or that these people are somehow less intelligent and more barbaric just by residing in the region that they're born in. Obviously, no sane person would agree that just being born somewhere or being born a certain color makes you more likely to want to commit jihad. That's what you're actually saying if you think it's not religion. And if you think it's their parents and not the religious texts that are brainwashing these kids, then how did their parents get brainwashed? You see, there's a kind of problem to that thinking where the cycle never ends of what about their parents' parents? How did the first Muslim ever come to want to commit jihad? The evangelicals of the United States would need to truly realize the terrible things a religion can do to a group of otherwise normal individuals. If you don't blame religion, the only plausible option you have to put blame on is the people themselves, not the ideas that are brainwashing them. Not only would this idea be false, but it'd be xenophobic. Are you afraid of a group of people because of where they live or what they look like? And not because of what they believe? Why would they believe the barbaric things that they do if it had nothing to do with religion? Would you just call it a toxic culture that we don't want around in the West? I guess you could, but there has to be a way that culture came to be. Imagine a religion was made that consisted of nothing but hostility and hatred for other humans that were not a part of it, and rewarded followers that converted others to this religion. And it used violence against those who refused to convert. Should we pick and choose the people from that religion that should be allowed to immigrate to the United States instead of ban all of them? When vetting them, should we let them into the country if they say that they are just following their holy book and they know that America has freedom of religion? What should we say? Should we say, sure, it's freedom of religion here. You have freedom to practice your religion of killing infidels here. Come right in. But then when they actually kill people, then arrest them? If you're an evangelical, right-wing Christian conservative, I think that's all the labels right there. And this person is telling you it's their religion that wants these things, that considers murder necessary if someone doesn't want to convert to their faith. I mean, just because it's written in a book that was written a few thousand years ago, does that make it something that you can't refute? I mean, just think about that for a second. I know that right-wingers are tougher on Islam than the left, or that's the idea that the people of the United States are given. I mean, considering the travel ban that's trying to be put through. But the reasons that the travel ban was blocked by the judicial system the first time, the first block, apparently they blocked it on grounds that the religion was mentioned and that it's unconstitutional to block a religion or ban people from a certain religion from entering the country. And the conservatives are like, oh, wow, oh, you're right, let me make sure this bill doesn't block people who are religious. You know, it's just a travel ban from certain countries that have maybe a Muslim majority, but that's just a coincidence. I mean, we didn't ban Saudi Arabia or Egypt, so obviously it's not a Muslim ban, so let's get rid of that jargon in the bill and bring in a new one. See, they don't even want to admit that it's a ban against religion. Maybe because if they did, they'd never get the travel ban passed. Or maybe because they're thinking, wow, you know what? I mean, I wouldn't be happy if all Christians were banned from entering Sweden. They might actually realize it'd be hypocritical to ban a religion. Or maybe they think religions can do no harm, and it's the people that are the difference. And they just want to ban the brown people. They want to ban the Arab people from coming into the United States. That'd be kinda racist. Just kinda. So if they want to get rid of the wording in the ban saying it's about religion, then what excuse do they have to ban those people? Well, you know, people from those countries are kind of brown, and you know, they've been around a lot of fighting and war, and you know, for some reason, those brown people, you know, they're just more likely to commit terrorist acts if they come here compared to people from Sweden. See how ridiculous does that sound? But if you said, you know, those religious people, the people who follow the Quran and do killings in the name of Allah, those people I don't want allowed in. And even if you don't do the killings, there are a lot of people who agree with the killings, who are happy when someone else kills a homosexual in the street. I don't want those people in here either, because they've been brainwashed by their religion, and they're not moral enough. They think morals are beneath the religion. Just having empathy for your fellow man is not allowed if Allah says to do something that conflicts with that empathy. I feel like in the Bible, the people that follow the Bible in the United States, if they actually do read it and they see the part that says you're supposed to kill women who are not virgins on their wedding day, yet there's basically 0 people in the United States that would ever do that. Yet the country is over 50% Christian. So what's the deal there? I feel like it's just people realize that their morals and their empathy for other human beings triumph over their beliefs in the religion. But it's not like that in the Muslim world. The hive mind in the Muslim world doesn't think that way. We're just not there yet with the religion of Islam. A vast majority of them do not put empathy as a priority over pleasing Allah. And until they do, it's going to be a big problem for them to assimilate to Western society. Let's go back to that new religion I made up where you try to convert every single person you meet to, and if they meet you with resistance, you have grounds to kill them. Just because I made that religion 3 days ago means nobody should respect it. But if I made it 3,000 years ago, that's totally okay and everyone should respect my religion. And I should be able to immigrate to your country whenever I want. I mean, it's my religion. It's not my personal beliefs. I'm just doing what my religion tells me to do. Just like the Bible tells you to be a good Christian, my holy book tells me the most important thing is to convert people and murder those who don't convert. If I said to you when trying to enter the United States, is that a problem? You better say yes. You better say yes, and you better get me the hell away from the people of your country. Just because the religion that I made up 3 days ago is a lot worse than Islam doesn't mean you can't deny people because of their religion. You shouldn't deny everybody, obviously, but you should be able to deny people coming into the country based on religion. Because religion can be anything. Anybody can use the excuse, oh, my religion told me to do it. So our little freedom of religion thing that we have in the United States, we should probably rephrase that. Because it's not okay for me to personally think murdering somebody for stealing my shoes is okay, but it is okay to follow a religion that says murdering somebody is okay. You can't have those 2 rules be in effect at the same time without major problems. Freedom of speech, totally fine. But we don't always have freedom of initiative on our speech. Because what if the thing I just said was, I want to chop your arm off? I can say that, but I can't actually do it. But religion bridges that gap between saying something and doing something. It gives people an excuse to do it when they otherwise should be thrown in jail or thrown out of the country. And sure, there are a lot more Muslims who would only think of wanting to kill a homosexual when they immigrate to the United States, and they would never actually do it. And hey, that's better than actually doing it, Congratulations. And that's just your freedom of speech there, kicking in, your freedom to think of ideas. Technically, we really shouldn't throw you out, and we should let you in, even if all you do is think that gays should be killed. There's plenty of Christians in the United States who live here who think gays should be killed. But because they don't actually kill them themselves, and they probably don't tell anybody that they want to kill them either, that helps, and that lets them stay in the country. Although, let's be honest here, even if there were outspoken Christians that thought gays should be killed because of the Bible, there would not be many people clamoring to kick them out. Not nearly as many as there are people clamoring about the Muslims. You can bet on that. If you're a Muslim coming from Saudi Arabia, you've never killed anybody for being gay, but you would openly celebrate them being killed if it did happen. You'd openly celebrate Omar Mateen shooting up a nightclub in Orlando. I mean, all you're really doing is exercising your freedom of speech by celebrating. But I wonder what a poll would look like if the American people were asked if people like you, who are celebrating the death of Americans, a poll asking, should we deport you out of the country or let you stay? I really do wonder how the percentages would go down on that. Just a simple yes or no. See, I myself can't really give a good answer right now because I don't know for sure what's going on in your head. I don't know if you would actually ever kill someone else because they were gay. And the furthest you would go is just be happy and then move on with your life. If I knew for sure you wouldn't do the killing yourself, then you can stay. But it's very difficult to know whether you'd do it yourself or not. This is the real world we're talking about. You never know if somebody's gonna snap one day. You never know what humans are capable of until they actually do it. That's something to think about.